Mom and I just got out here to our farm market and got a bunch of produce unloaded. We even got 11 boxes of plum tomatoes. They're not ours yet, but we thought if somebody wanted a can, we got a couple options here for them. We know we got a bag corn today because we only have one bag left and there should be like 70 or 80. And before we head home, Mom and I threw on our picnic table. We just got that one home, pressure washed and stained and brought back out here. Now we want to do the same thing to this guy. And one other thing I wanted to check out before we head out was the zinnia patch. Every day these are getting bigger and bigger. They're just about to the point where you cannot walk through them, which is kind of good and not good at the same time. It's great that they're getting big and bushy, but you know, people want to walk through because we do have pick your own. Right here is the sign, 10 for $5. All sorts of different colors and sizes. There's yellow, here's white, orange, here's like a light or dark pink. I don't even know what you want to call that color. Here's a light pink. Here's like a maroon, huge. There's red. And I think there's even other colors. You can tell like this is a young one that's just growing, and this is a fully blossomed one. That's very pretty. We started this around 3 years ago. Just the people on the highway love passing by, seeing them. Some stop in, take pictures, some buy some, just whatever. It just makes people happy in general. We haven't had rain, or at least a decent rain now, in like going on a month or something close to that. And so I came down here to our late season field where we're gonna be planting our cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, all that kind of stuff. Dad already got it plowed, but we gotta run irrigation pipe through here and get this watered because there's absolutely no moisture in the ground to even put the plants in. We have an underground line coming up down there. We're gonna run irrigation pipe all the way up the edge and then go straight through it and then into our potatoes. But because it's so rocky and so chunky, I'm gonna go through with this tractor and make a nice track with my tire to run the irrigation pipe out through. Very soft because Dad plowed it already once. So I tried to just follow my dad's plow line. I think I did a pretty decent job. Curve's a little bit hard here at the end. I don't know if I can get that angle out of the pipes, but we'll see what happens here within the next couple hours when we come through. And then, like I said, we'll come right out and into the potatoes. Up here is the red, the darker ones. Down here is the white, the lighter ones. I don't think we can get the whole field, but we're just gonna go through the middle, and whatever the rainbirds can reach out to is what it's gonna be. Next job is gonna be fertilizing the high tunnels. I showed you guys like a video or two ago how our tomatoes had one of two problems. Maybe actually had two problems, I don't know. There was the yellow on the tomatoes, which we weren't sure if that was sun scald or if it was just a nutrition problem, like they needed more fertilizer. And so we didn't get our shade cloth on the high tunnels yet, which we've put on in the past. That still did not fix the problem. So we're thinking it could possibly be that we need to go with a different variety of tomatoes. Even though they do awesome, the plants do great, it's just maybe they can't handle that kind of heat, or maybe we need to give them more fertilizer. We gave them 20, 10, 20 last time, and now this time we're gonna give them what we call, I guess, like the high tunnel special right here. That's not what it's actually called, that's just what I'm calling it. And so this is it right here, a 4-2-41 plus 2% Mg, which means magnesium. So to start out, get my cup on there, tear that, and then I can start putting my fertilizer in. Mom's down there pressure washing off that table right now. And I'm gonna mix some hot water with my fertilizer to get that mixed up. That's ready to go. Mom's gonna come up and start them dripping through the upper one and the lower high tunnel. Should take around an hour. The upper one's a lot bigger, so that's why we do a gallon. The lower one is smaller, so we do a half gallon. You don't want to water too much when you're fertilizing after you're finished fertilizing, because then you'll just wash that fertilizer right away. And so as soon as it's done, we like to shut it off and let it absorb and let the roots suck that nutrient up into the plant. The guys started out this morning in the pickles and cucumbers. Got like 11 baskets of pickles, which are really nice, and then 7 baskets of cucumbers. Now they're out there in the yellow beans. I can see one sitting there in the dry road, and they have 2 right here. But I'm actually gonna go grab them now because we are gonna go and start laying irrigation pipe in the potatoes like I showed you this morning. So before we head up to start picking everything up and laying more irrigation pipe down, this is what we call our irrigation wagon, and this is the irrigation pipe. I think these are 30-foot long, and at the end here, which these all have what we call risers in them. Oh no, not that one. This is what we call a riser. This is what emits the water, and so as it shoots out water, it makes this thing flap, turning it around in circles, and it keeps spraying water out. Here is a plug. If we don't want any water to come out, we throw those in. So either we have one of the 2 going out through the field. We're in the process right now of picking up the pipe out of the onions, which we've now been irrigating for the past 2 days. And then we're gonna go lay this down in the potatoes. Now we're about to get into the mid-season cabbage. There's broccoli, then cauliflower, then moves into cabbage. Me and the guys just finished up laying it. Actually, I was just the driver. They were the ones laying it. We got it all the way out through here in the potatoes, and then back through there where we're gonna be planting the late season cabbage. And I got one more rainbird to put in right here, which is this guy. And then we're ready to start up the line. As you can see, there's a white cap in there right now. So I'm gonna take that out. More coordinated on this side. So I'll get a hold of that. If I can get these set right. And then that'll come out. Just like that. Then you have an open hole. And we always spray some WD-40 on our threads, just so the rainbird comes out easier next time. And then I'll just screw that in. Just like that. And then finish tightening it in. Just like 1/4 to a 1/2 turn, and that's it right there. Ready to go. Here it comes. It's just starting to come out. It's got to bleed out the air now all the way out to the woods out there. So it's gonna take a little bit of time. And we have one dark cloud actually putting some rain out at the moment. Too bad it's not gonna pour on us. As you can see, as soon as it gets enough pressure, it immediately wants to then start spinning around. There it goes. Beautiful. Satisfying. You know, with the sun shining down on it, just seeing all that like fog of rain, it's just awesome. This guy right here is gonna drive me nuts. I walked the whole line, everything's doing great, except the last one. It's got some sort of blockage. Usually it's like part of a mouse nest or some kind of pond scum. And I just take a little piece of wire, poke it in there a couple times and free it up. But this one I cannot get. So I don't know if it's a pebble just stuck perfectly or what it is, but it's not going around properly, obviously, like the other guys. The only other option I have is taking out that little screw right there, but there's such a crazy amount of pressure that it's so hard to get it back in. I've only ever done it like once or twice, and it was very, very difficult, and I got soaked. But I don't know what to do because I can't let it sit like that for 4 hours. I always talk about how these things operate, but I never got to do a close-up of how it works when it's operating correctly. So that's how the stream should be. Nice and even, good flow. And then there's the spring right here. So when I let this go, it not only is pulsing it so that it's watering what's very close around here, but then it's kind of making it rain across all the way out to the peppers out there. And so when it's a steady stream with no interference like it is now, it's getting just up to that last row of peppers, which is what we want. It's actually even going into the hayfield a hair. It's 6:30 in the morning and we are just packing the truck for a Scranton Farmers Market. Dad's putting a skid on right now. This is zucchini, cucumbers, kohlrabi, yellow beans, and pickles. Then I'll go into it with a pallet jack and bring it all the way to the front. We got kale, kohlrabi, collard greens. Now Mom and Dad are working on basil.
I love cutting this stuff.
Mom and Dad are heading back to unload all that stuff. Then they're gonna come back out. We're gonna get one more load of broccoli right here, which is beautiful, not real big. And then I'm gonna get dill in the meantime. Maybe even some cauliflower as well, even though it's not real big, again with the lack of rain. We're going through dill pretty fast. We'll probably just about finish up this row today. We're just about loaded. Dad's packing the last skid right now. We don't have a ton of corn today. Usually we would have taken another full bin plus filled this one all the way up, but with the lack of rain, it's just not growing as fast as normal, and the ears are smaller than normal, but it's still filled out nice and tastes really good. It's the next day. Dad and I actually both ended up going to the Scranton Farmers Market along with our 3 helpers and my pap, just because we always end up getting very busy on Fridays. It's the busiest day of the week, and we like to not be short-handed. I wanted to give a big thank you to the man or woman or couple who sent us all of these harvesting knives. These look awesome. I can't wait to use them for collard greens, cabbage, cauliflower, all that kind of stuff. We got little ones, we got big serrated ones. My dad got all excited and even opened this one up, if I can get it out. And so they're all very, very sharp. We were checking that out as well, and we think they're gonna work great. So this might be the replacement to our Rada knives that we use now. They got a nicer handle and a thicker blade. They might hold up better. And that sheath is great too. It pops in there, nice and secure, doesn't come out. That way nobody's getting cut. Thank you guys very much. And if you guys are new to the channel, this is what we use currently. Just plain Rada knives. We have smaller ones like for zucchini, bigger ones for like cabbage, collard greens. But like I said, I'm really excited to try the new ones. And who knows, maybe we'll get rid of these altogether. Good morning, Dieter. This is Daisy. The guys are out in the beans right now, then they're gonna move on to the pickles. I am heading out to the pepper field right now for the first pepper harvest of the year. When peppers are just about ready, they are a little bit softer and they don't have a real hard shell on them. And that's fine, there's nothing wrong with them, but they just don't hold up quite as long as a hard shelled pepper because they're just not fully ready. And so I'm coming out here now to pick probably more of the soft shelled than the hard shell, just because, like I said, they're right on the verge. But it's time now to start getting some of these off. As you can see, the peppers are loaded. They're just kind of small yet. Out here, it kind of lays a little bit wetter, so I'm hoping they're a little bit bigger. We actually irrigated this whole field, the eggplant and the whole bare ground pepper field out there last night. That's gonna hopefully blow these guys up. You can see the peppers look extremely healthy. They're doing really well. This right here is a giant Marconi, just a sweet frying pepper. We also grow a Cubanelle, which is basically the same exact thing, except just has a little bit thinner shell. But as far as taste goes, I think they're exactly the same. Sadly, I cannot just go right down the row yet. I can only get about one pepper, if I'm lucky, off like every other plant. So I'm just kind of looking here to see what I can find. Oh, right here, it switches over to the Cubanelle. And that is those right here. That's a little bit small, but not too far off. This one right here is actually half decent. That's a pretty nice one. Here's a nice one. Oh, there's a couple on that plant actually. That's a really good one. And that's about it. And so like I said, when these are fully mature, they'll get more of a hard, darker skin on them. That one's very close. That one's a little bit squishy yet. But if people are gonna use them right away, these are gonna be excellent. Another thing is you gotta be careful you don't break the peppers off. The small ones, that is, while you're picking. There's a really nice section right here. That's a beauty. I don't know, Mom said there was Cubanelle out here, but I'm really not seeing many at all. I just think they might need a little more time. I guess I could try and get a basket. But I mean, that's about as big as they're gonna get right there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna let them go. That's the first I'm seeing this for the year. The crows pecked into these as well. Man. I don't see a lot of that, luckily, but you know they're getting desperate when they're pecking bell peppers. Here's a nice one. Oops. Beautiful. I'll even pick that guy. These are not as big as they should be yet either, but they do have a nice hard shell on them, which is nice. I'm doing pretty good. Haven't been out here too long. I got my 2 giant Marconis and I just finished up my second bell. These are hard shelled. I'm gonna try and get around 2 to 3 more bell and I think then call it, because this is what we call our early pepper field. It's all in the plastic. Out there is the later, which is about 2 or 3 times the size at least. And it's all in bare ground, which, so those peppers aren't even close to ready. And these ones is all we have. And it's only Cuban, Italian, bell, and long hots. And the long hots, which is the only thing I have not tried to pick yet, are still kind of small as well. I mean, I could get a couple just to fill some quarts, but these are pretty darn soft yet. And if they're not ready, they might not even be hot. Let's see. And I absolutely hate hot stuff. Oh, yeah. They're hot. Hot enough for me. I wouldn't want to take a bite of it, that's for sure. Anyways, still not probably gonna pick them anyway because they get real soft in like the matter of a day if they're not picked right away. Jeez, hot.